Now that we've been spending most of our time at home and making the most of spaces, let's talk about dynamic spaces in the kitchen. The evolution, kitchen workflow, kitchen standardization, and ergonomic levels. Today's moderators for decoding the kitchen code are Manish Gupta, Ishan Jain, Shubhankar Sen Gupta, and myself, Sanchita Khanna. So recently, we held a poll from some of the members of our audience to identify how many people are right-handed. We found out all of the people who took the poll were right-handed, and 71% of them were helping in the kitchen, 29 weren't. And 54% still find a struggle in finding things in the kitchen. We asked them how old their kitchen was. Less than 5 years were about 39%, and 5 to 10 years old were about 28%. Percent. More than 10 years old were members with 33%. We asked them if the kitchen storage was adequate. 57% said yes, it was sufficient, but the 43% said no, they still need more storage in their kitchens. 50% of the kitchens were not designed by professionals, 33% were, and 17% did not know if it was designed by a professional or not. We asked them a couple of terms like consumable storage, non-consumable storage, cleaning zone, preparation zone, and cooking zone. If they had heard these terms before, we were surprised to see 95% of our audience knew these terms. The 5% who did not know, please don't be worried. We will cover this up in the upcoming presentation slides. We also asked them a fun question, would they remodel their kitchen? And 86% weren't very comfortable remodeling their kitchen, but the 14% were interested in remodeling their kitchen. I would like to hand over to my co-host, Mr. Manish, to
Yeah.
explain to you the evolution and convenience.
Hello, everyone. So, decoding the evolution and convenience, Sanchita. Over the years, kitchens have come a long way. Now, this can be primarily seen into two parts, like a pre-industrialization and post-industrialization. During pre-industrializations, when chimneys were not introduced, the open patio served as the kitchen. And during the Roman Empire, the cooking was done in large public kitchens. Then over Middle Ages, chimneys were introduced, and such kitchens were called the smoke kitchens. By 20th century, when industrialization has occurred, the first electric stove has been presented in 1893. And due to this industrialization, many social changes also occurred in our kitchens. Like upper class kitchen had a separate space which was operated by servants. Middle class tried to imitate the luxurious dining styles of the upper class. Gas pipes were first laid in 19th century, and the gas distribution would go through a coin meter. Now post-industrialization, I mean there are another two phases. One is rationalization and one is technicalization. So during rationalization, the German kitchen brand Kogenpol, they introduced the ergonomic worktop heights and storage chutes. And during technicalization, in which we are living right now, the idea of standardized dimensions and layouts was developed, and the equipments used for standard kitchens were like hot and cold water on tap, kitchen sink, electric or gas stove, oven, and refrigerators. Sanchita? As you can see on the right side, the evolution of kitchen is directly linked to the invention of the cooking range or stove and the development of water infrastructure capable of supplying water to private homes.
So over the years, we have seen a significant change in the refrigerator as well. From a humble ice box to a smart fridge, the business of keeping our food and drinks cooled has kept designers and scientists busy for over 100 years. Similarly, the dishwasher consisted of a wooden wheel lying flat in a copper boiler. Now they have more technology inside them than a spaceship, probably. As spaces and designs have made improvements, the hardware has also evolved to great lengths, which has always supported them. Hardware is now more sleek, affordable, aesthetically appealing, concealed, and whatnot. You simply mention your problem and there will be a solution available by any of the brands. A high quality fitting brings ease of use, quality, and motion to the kitchen. A kitchen can be beautiful and at the same time more practical if the furniture is easy to open and has a feather-light touch, despite the movement of load. The feather-light movement despite the load.
Decoding the kitchen workflow and kitchen zoning. Workflow. Every kitchen can be divided in these 5 zones: consumables, non-consumables, cleaning zones, preparation zone, cooking zone, which can be identified as consumable. This includes all your perishable, non-perishable groceries like canned foods, breads, pastas, glass containers, breakfast item, etc. For non-consumable, these includes all the cutlery, crockeries, small items, odd and the ends, electronic devices, etc. Cleaning zones. This includes all the cleaning agents, waste management, and waste disposal, trash bag, under sink appliances, etc. Preparation zone. These are all the knives, kitchen tools, foils, oils, ingredients, cutting boards, mixing bowls, strainers, etc. Cooking zones. These include all the cooking utensils, pots and pans, oven dishes, cooker hoods, hob stoves, microwaves, etc. Next slide, please. While looking at these images, we can easily distinguish the zones, for which you can easily see the cleaning and disposable zones, which are the cleaning zones, the preparation zones, the counters, storage, under overhead storages, and under counter storages. We have cooking and baking areas on the right side.
Now we will identify work zones. There are different kinds of kitchen layouts, which will depend on the amount of space you have for the kitchen, like the U-shaped kitchen, island kitchen, G-shaped kitchen, L-shaped kitchen, gallery kitchen, one counter kitchen. The planning of work zones is shown in the image below.
Like we took the polls earlier, we asked about if you were right-handed or left-handed. We did this to identify if the end user is a left-hander or a right-hander. If the end user is a left-hander, then we go clockwise with the design. For example, you can see we start with the cooking zone, preparation zone, cleaning zone, non-consumable zones, and consumable zones. Whereas if the end user is right-handed, then we go anti-clockwise. That is, the cooking zone starts from the right hand, then we go with preparation zone, cleaning zone, non-consumable zones, and consumable zones. Next slide, please. Here are some quick tips which we need to go. Use drawers instead of doors for base cabinets for consumable items. Use of full extensions drawers instead of part extensions. For non-consumable, use dividers like cutlery trays, partition system for optimum storage. For cleaning, use pull-over waste bin accessories. Use detergent pull-out storages. For preparation counters, it is the main working area and it should be at least 90 centimeter wide. For cooking, cooking essentials should be on the right side if you are a right-handed. Next slide, please.
Now we will decode the standards. Standardization is adding sense to the accessories and activities within a kitchen by following some very simple and basic rules for layout planning, heights and depths, minimum distances, suspended kitchens, pull-out kitchen basket. In planning, it is first and the utmost important thing. If planning is not done right, it can lead to a lot of confusion and even accidents within the kitchen. Thus, the kitchen works best if we follow the triangle rule, which includes the wash basin, sink and dishwashers, cooking areas, hob, and fridge, which is the preserving areas. The basic sum of the three sides of the triangle, which we can see as A, B, and C, should not exceed 650 centimeters. In an ideal kitchen arrangement, the three areas will be divided by a worktop in between. The height and the depth. Height and depth of the worktop and storage plays important role in standardizing the kitchen and making it efficient. How? Let us examine in the examples below. If we see at the leftmost image, we have a standard 60 centimeter storage and then a overhead storage above. Without getting a pain in the head, it is impossible to work on this counter. By making a simple adjustment from 60 to 65 centimeter, we get a better viewing area of the worktop. Making further adjustment of 80 centimeter and adding a bit of storage behind it, we can get a full view of the counter. Doing further modification, taking it up to 90 centimeter, we can not only work comfortably on the worktop, but we can have a direct and a clear view of the shelves above. Next. Further to height and depth, the standardization does not mean that we keep the height remain constant irrespective of the height of the user. With the change in the height of the user, the worktop has to change. The basic idea and the principle although remains same. As we can see in the left side image, when the height of the user ranges between 138 centimeter to 150 centimeter, the worktop height is 76 to 82 centimeter. If we increase the height of the user, then if we see at the topmost, the right side of the image, 198 to 210 centimeter user will require 106 to 112 centimeter of the worktop. Minimum distances. The minimum distance standard to perform activity in the kitchen, as per the layouts which we have already seen before, will change. For example, if we have a dining space within the kitchen and someone needs to pass behind him, then the total amount of space which is required from the table to the partition or the wall is 120 centimeter. If the person needs to operate the storage in terms of the drawer, then the space requirement changes to 135 centimeter, as we can see in diagram B. In diagram C, if the person needs to operate by bending down the lower shelves of the storage, the distance from the table is 120 centimeter. In diagram D, if we see, while operating the storage below and some person needs to pass by it, then the distance is 100 plus 70, so 170 centimeter. Next, suspended kitchen. Recently, we have started to develop or get into the suspended type of kitchen where we clear the floor space for easy cleaning. Like we can see in diagram A, either we have the left side of the diagram, which has low clearing, or the right one of it, which has higher cleaning. In both ways, cleaning of the floor is possible, and we can avoid the bacteria and other things. In diagram B, we see that the floor can also be, in this case, used for floor heating. In diagram C, we can suspend our kitchen thing with the help of frame and leave the floor for better utilization. In diagram D, if we have the internal partition, then we will need to, and if we need to put actually the legs, then it should be at least 120 centimeters apart to give a clear access and also look aesthetically good. Next. Pull-out kitchen baskets. Pull-out are the new standard basket. As we can see, and if you look at the diagram to the left, A, in the traditional kitchen, we used to face problem in accessing the items which were stored behind some item or at the lower shelves. But with the use of the modern hardwares and technologies, we are able to easily out the entire basket and access each and every item without much pain to our backs and neck. Next.
So decoding the storage planning. Storage planning often takes a back seat in other requirements, and later on things are made wherever the space remains. By following some simple but effective guidelines, one can solve storage problems or avoid making the wrong storage. Now, this can be done by proper drawer placement, vertical storage placement, appliances planning, placement of knives and flatware, and corner usage. Now, placing the drawers beneath the range. One should always plan drawers beneath the range or beneath the cooktop, I would say, for quick access. If cooktop is large, then having drawer even makes more sense. Now, the point here to know is we can keep the first drawer, which is beneath the hob, right? We can always keep it blank and we can store all our cutleries and the regular use of items on our left or a right hand side. Then placing vertical storage near the range. Long cabinets to the side of the range on overhead and under counter storage is a big help for immediate requirements of cooking. Long cabinets to the left and right for full view of easy and access of their contents. Next. Planning appliances in advance. Now, appliances, especially large ones, should be planned well in advance, or a provision should be left for them. Else, they not only take out space from the existing storage, but they also look eyesore. Keeping trash and knives near the sink. Knives and trash should be as close to the sink as possible for cleaning, hygiene, and safety purpose. There are multiple smarter ways to hide them or integrate them in the surroundings, as you can see in the images that we've shown. Now, the top drawer for cooking utensils, flatware, and spices. Outfit your top drawer with appropriate size dividers for longer cooking utensils and everyday flatware, and pick top drawers within arm's length of the dishwasher. Then use of corners. One of the most neglected and unplanned spaces are the corners. If planned well and with the right kind of hardware, it can turn out to be most beautiful storage spaces in the entire kitchen. For example, as you can see bottom left, it's called a limo. We can use magic corners, we can use carousels, and n number of accessories. Now, how to achieve that optimal storage? So as you can see, you can use full extension drawers instead of part extension drawers. You can increase the space by 55% by using higher drawers with closed side panels. Get up to 15% of more space by using a wide drawer rather than two narrow ones. Create 30% of more storage space by giving drawers of greater depth. To try and use every inch of space available wisely, storage space requirements differ depending on cooking habits, shopping habits, household size, and above all, lifestyle. Cabinets with greater depth, high pullouts with closed side panels, and far-sighted planning that create extra space without changing the dimension of the room. Life of a well-planned kitchen should be not less than 15 years or more. Hence, every kitchen should take future requirements into the account as well. For larger families, try to create a storage unit with 5 or 6 big drawers. Trust me, you can load up to 3 times as compared to any tall unit available.
Decoding the ergonomic levels. Now that we've heard all this, what are ergonomics? Why are they important? Well, ergonomics analyze the relationship between the human body and the objects we use and the space we live and work in. In order to optimize movements and avoid unnatural postures that could be harmful to our health. At home, kitchen is one of the areas that most benefits from ergonomics. It ensures the ease of use and allows you to move comfortably in the space based on your physical requirements and habits. As we see in the picture on the left, if a 5 feet 2 inches guy is using a kitchen top of 33 to 36 inches, it is comfortable. However, if the counter height is reduced to 30 to 33 inches, it is not a lot of difference. However, it is one of the hazards. It may lead to neck pain, back pain, and even have hazards in terms of hand pain. Let us try and see these in a little video. Over here, we try to analyze the low exertion level, the medium exertion level, and the high exertion levels. To understand this, in a typical kitchen with shutters in the under counter area, so the lady in the earlier video bent, takes out the crockeries or pots and pans that she needs, and this is observed at the highest exertion level. From the low to the highest exertion level was observed. Like we saw again, the low exertion level, the medium, and the highest exertion level. This was observed not only for the medium rack, but the lowest rack as well. Now, in our traditional kitchens where shutters were used for the under counter, they have been replaced by drawers, like we explained to you in our earlier slides. Now, let's see how they work. So you open the drawer, and the exertion level, you take out the utensils, is still at low. With the soft closing feature, you don't have to bend again. Again, for the lowest and the bottommost drawer as well, the exertion level observed is very low in comparison to the traditionals. Now we understand why replacing the shutters and with drawers have come to solve the ergonomic problems and reduce the hazards in the kitchen. To summarize all the presentation slides done before,
Good planning will help you get the most out of your kitchen. Here are a few simple things to think about. You should be able to move quickly and easily between the cooking area, the fridge, and the sink. This is sometimes called the working triangle. The shape of your kitchen will usually be dictated by the shape of the room, but just because your existing kitchen is one shape doesn't necessarily mean your new kitchen has to be the same. Here are a few layout options. A line kitchen, which is good for small kitchens, but not so good for bigger rooms. If you have the space, you can add an island, which not only gives you more storage, but can also be a serving area, a hangout, and a room divider. An L-shaped kitchen creates a good working triangle and gives you lots of storage space. A U-shaped kitchen gives you loads of storage and worktop space, but you'll need a big room. A parallel kitchen gives you 2 work and storage stations on opposite walls. It doesn't need that much space and works really well in rooms with a door or window at the end. When it comes to worktops, space on both sides of the hob will give you somewhere to put hot pans. But if you're short on space, prioritize the space between the sink and the hob. In a parallel kitchen, make sure there's room for 2 people to work without bumping into each other. A distance of at least 120 centimeters will let you open drawers and doors on both sides at the same time. Place wall cabinets at a height that won't block the view of the countertops. Make sure you follow the manufacturer's recommendation when it comes to the height of the fan above the hob. Placing your oven at eye level means less bending and keeps the oven out of reach of the kids. Counter space beside the oven will give you somewhere to put hot trays. Keeping your cooking utensils and pots and pans close to the hob means they'll always be within reach when you need them. Storing your glasses, cutlery, and porcelain close to the sink and dishwasher will make loading and unloading the dishwasher easier. Leave space for a filler piece between the last cabinet and the wall. This will give you enough room to fully open the door, which is especially important if you have pull-out wire baskets. Here are some things to avoid. Putting your oven or dishwasher in a corner will block the adjacent drawers and cabinets. Placing a sink next to a wall will disrupt your workflow and reduce your countertop space. Placing the oven next to a wall will expose the wall to heat and fat splashes. Placing drawers in a corner will block the adjoining cabinet and may damage its door or handle.
thank you for being an amazing audience. To conclude, we would still say no 2 kitchens are the same, and every kitchen is unique, and every space needs to be planned as per the client or the end user. Thank you so much.